dawn came heavy with rain. It was the kind that left the world quiet, the kind that followed blood. Jamie awoke to the ache of half-healed wounds and the silence of a battlefield long gone cold. His body bore the marks of victory, yet his heart carried something he could not name. In the space between one breath and the next, he saw her, Sofia, the vision from the steps, her face framed by snow and sorrow. That memory haunted him now more than pain ever could. He rose before the camp stirred. Robert found him saddling his horse. "Still healing and you'd ride already?" Robert asked, his tone half jest, half concern. "There's something I must do," Jamie replied. "Then I ride with you," Robert said firmly. Jamie nodded. For all his stubbornness, he never refused Robert's loyalty. The two rode out into the mist, the forest whispering their names. The road wound through the trees like a memory. The world seemed hollowed, half dream, half warning. Then, as though drawn from the fog itself, Mercy appeared. She stood in the middle of the path, still, serene, her gaze both mournful and knowing. Robert's hand went to his sword. "Who goes there?" Jamie raised his arm to stay him. "Leave it." Mercy's voice was low, melodic, almost human. Almost. "You seek, yet you do not know what you chase." Jamie frowned. "What does that mean?" "The threads of fate pull tight tonight," she whispered. "A shadow is waiting where you rest your hopes. You will walk into darkness, and what you find will change you." "Speak sense," Robert growled. Mercy's eyes found Jamie's, ancient eyes, infinite. "She feels you," she said softly, "though she does not know how. And you feel her. That bond will be your curse or your salvation." Jamie blinked, confusion giving way to unease. "Who?" But when he looked again, Mercy was gone. Only the mist remained, and the hollow echo of her warning. The night had fallen heavy upon the pines, the forest a cathedral of silence and shadow. Jamie rode ahead with Robert close behind, the moonlight cutting silver threads through the branches overhead. Their breath misted in the cold, their horses moving warily as if the air itself carried dread. They had ridden since dusk, drawn by whispers of slaughter near the old woodlands. A hunter's cottage had been found emptied of life, the ground blackened by something older than blood. Robert had called it rumor. Jamie felt it in his bones. Truth. "Whatever's out here," Robert muttered, "I'd wager it's no beast of flesh." Jamie said nothing. He could feel something pulling him forward, an unseen tether that thrummed beneath his ribs. Mercy's words echoed from the clearing. "When the snow falls red, follow it. You will know when the dark remembers." Now the wind carried the smell of copper and ash. He knew. The horses balked as they neared the cabin clearing. The air was thick, unnatural, humming with power. The windows were dark, yet the faintest pulse of crimson glowed beneath the door. Jamie dismounted. Robert followed, sword drawn. "Stay close," Jamie whispered. But Robert's hand gripped his shoulder. "Jamie, do you feel that?" Jamie nodded. He could. A hunger, ancient and patient, waiting. They moved to the door, wood warped with frost and time. Jamie kicked it open. Inside, the stench was unbearable. Blood smeared the walls in symbols neither man recognized. Bodies lay strewn like discarded dolls, faces pale and drained. Around the cabin lie the bodies of lesser vampires, torn apart and burned by dark energy, as if consumed by their own master's wrath. And in the center of the room, half shrouded by shadow, stood a figure. Tall, elegant, motionless, eyes burning like dying stars. Something had been here before them. The stench of death was old, older than any battle. And there, upon the bones of his kin, stood the Crown Master. Robert froze, his face draining of color. He had seen drawings in the archives, but never one standing before him. "By the saints," he whispered. The creature smiled, lips curling to reveal perfect glistening teeth. 2 nights of the living, it hissed, 2 hearts still warm. Jamie's sword came free in a single breath of steel. Robert's voice broke raw with terror. "No, Jamie, don't. No man has faced a crown master and lived to tell." Jamie's reply was steady. "Then tonight, one will." The crown master moves with unnatural speed, shadows following his blade like tendrils. Jamie parries with mortal strength, but unnatural precision, his movements almost guided. The vampire crashing against him in a blur of motion. Jamie was hurled back, rolling across the blood-soaked floor. The creature struck again, claws raking sparks from his blade, its voice a whisper of ruin. "Foolish mortal. Your soul will be a song in my veins." Jamie rose, blood running from his temple, eyes burning with something far older than courage. His every wound screamed, but his will did not waver. The crown master struck like a storm of blades and fire. Yet Jamie stood, unbent, unbroken. When the vampire lunged again, Jamie pivoted and drove his sword deep into its chest. The creature shrieked, talons slicing his shoulder, but Jamie did not let go. He pushed the blade deeper until black ichor pulled from the wound, and the body convulsed, collapsing in a storm of smoke and ash. Silence. Only Jamie's ragged breathing remained. Robert stood frozen, sword trembling in his hand. When the dust settled, the impossible had come to pass. The crown master was no more. Jamie dropped to one knee, chest heaving. He looked at the smoldering remains. "They die like men," he whispered, "only slower." Then, a whisper, a voice soft and distant. "Below." Jamie's head snapped up. He turned toward the corner where a hatch lay half hidden beneath torn rugs. Mercy's whisper still lingered like the echo of wind. Without waiting, he crossed the room, heaved the hatch open, and descended into darkness. The cellar reeked of damp and despair. A single torch burned low, casting feeble light on iron bars. Inside that cage, motionless, chained and pale, lay Sofia Harker. Her wrists were raw, her dress torn. The glow of her skin was faint, but even broken, she radiated a sorrowful majesty. Jamie's breath caught. He fell to his knees beside the cage. "Sofia!" Her gaze lifted to him, disbelieving at first, then soft, relieved. "Jamie." He cut her bonds and wrenched at the lock until it snapped. He caught her as she fell forward, frail against his chest. Robert descended behind him, torchlight spilling over the scene. When it touched Sofia's neck, his eyes widened. There, faint but unmistakable, was the Harker crest, a silver sigil burned into her skin. Recognition struck him like a blow. He had seen that mark once, long ago in the archives of lost royalty, bloodlines that ruled the unseen realm. "Jamie," Robert breathed, "step away from her." "She bears the Harker crest. She's one of them." Jamie turned sharply. "She's the woman I saved." "She's a vampire," Robert shouted, horror warring with disbelief. Sofia's voice came weak, trembling through cracked lips. "I would never harm a soul." The words were soft but regal, steeped in the dignity of who she truly was. Robert froze, the truth dawning in his eyes. He had seen queens speak with less command. His sword lowered slightly as awe crept into his voice. "My God, she's royal." Jamie rose slowly, positioning himself between them. "If you mean to strike her, you'll do it through me." Robert's jaw tightened. "Jamie, this isn't you." "She's the enemy." "She's not," Jamie said, voice hard as stone. "I love her. No faith, no king, no curse will change that." For a long moment, only the torch crackled between them. Then Robert exhaled, defeated. "God help us all," he murmured. He sheathed his sword and turned toward the stairs. "Get her out of here before dawn." Jamie nodded, lifting Sofia carefully into his arms. Her head rested against his chest, her breath shallow but steady. Together they rode into the night, the forest closing behind them like a secret. Sofia leaned weakly against Jamie, her eyes heavy with both gratitude and dread. "You shouldn't have come," she whispered. "I couldn't stay away," he said. Around them, the forest stretched silent and endless. Snow drifted down, muffling the horse strides as they vanished into the dark. And somewhere beyond the veil, Mercy watched once more. Her eyes gleamed like dying stars, her voice a sigh through the falling snow. The wheel turned still, and blood remembers. The wind carried her whisper away, fading into the woods as dawn crept upon the world. And the hunt was ended, but the war had just begun.